University of Reggio Calabria, Italy. He received his BSc and MSc with honors in Computer Science Engineering from the University of Messina. Currently, he is in an Italian project funded by the Ministry of Interior. His main research activities focus on the security of cloud, edge, IoT technologies for smart cities and e-health solutions, including big data management and blockchain. Due to his contribution to the research, he has been selected among 200 top young researchers in the mathematics and computer science to participate in the prestigious Heidelberg Laureate Forum held in Heidelberg in September 2019. He was the guest editor of several SIS on Q1 journals. Currently, he is associate editor of Elsewhere journal, one of the member of the technical committee of the Elsewhere Computer Communication Journal, and a reviewer of more than 15 respected journals. Chair of several international conferences and co-author of more than 60 manuscripts, including IEEE Transaction. I would like to request Honorable Chairman Sir, the Director of the Day, to come on the stage and welcome the keynote speaker, Professor Antonio Galate. Huge round of applause for Professor Antonio Galate from Italy. So please take your seat. If you steal from one author, it's plagiarism. If you steal from many, it's research. Now the time for the second keynote speaker. He is working as Zonal Head North IT Academics, I Nurture Education Solutions Private Limited. He has a vast experience of more than 21 years into academics as additional director, assistant dean, with organizations like Chandigarh University, Amity University and Galgotia Engineering Colleges. Currently, he is looking after the academics of 11 universities of UP, Rajasthan, Uttarakhand, MP and Punjab on new age programs. He has 8 patents and 8 copyrights granted by Government of India with 4 patents published. He has written 2 books on data structure using C and human-computer interaction. He has got more than 50 research papers published which includes 42 research papers in SCI Scopus. He is senior member of IEEE and has conducted IEEE and Springer Index Conference in India, Dubai and London. एक बार जोरदार तालियों के साथ स्वागत करते हैं सेकंड कीनोट स्पीकर ऑफ द डे डॉक्टर अनीश गुप्ता. I would request Chairman Sir, Director Sir to welcome him. We are very much grateful to Dr. Anish Gupta. Today he is suffering with fever and still he is here. Thank you so much, sir, for your presence. Now the time for the guest of honors whose presence is gracing this function. In this series, I would like to call upon the stage Dr. Sanjay Singh, Director of ABS EC. एक बार जोरदार तालियां संजय सर के लिए. I would request Rajiv Garg sir. So please, Rajiv sir, please come on the stage to join the felicitation of Dr. Sanjay sir. So please come on the stage. I would request Chairman Sir and Director Sir also. Moving forward, now I would like to call upon the stage Dr. Dharmendra, Director of Sanskar Institute of Technology. एक बार जोरदार तालियों के साथ स्वागत करते हैं डॉक्टर धर्मेंद्र सर का. I would request Rajiv sir, Chairman sir and Director sir to welcome him. Moving forward, the next guest of honor of today's event is Dr. Sandeep Gupta, Director of Sundardeep Institute of Engineering and Technology. एक बार जोरदार तालियां. I would request Chairman Sir, Rajiv Sir and Director Sir to welcome him. हर इवेंट को शेप देने में, उसे सक्सेस करने के लिए कुछ ना कुछ मेंबर्स इंक्लूड होते हैं और इसी सीरीज में हमारे बीच में उपस्थित हैं डॉक्टर सत्य प्रकाश सर. आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट टू चेयरमैन सर, राजीव सर एंड डायरेक्टर सर टू वेलकम द डॉक्टर सत्य प्रकाश सर टू मेक दिस इवेंट, टू कीप दिस इवेंट इन परफेक्ट शेप. एक बार जोरदार तालियां सत्य प्रकाश सर के लिए. Now, moving forward, last not the least, I would like to call upon the stage Mr. Nilopant Pathak. I would request Director Sir, Chairman Sir to welcome and Rajiv Sir to welcome him. एक बार जोरदार तालियां नीलोपंत पाठक सर के लिए. Now the time of opening. I would request all the members presented over here to come forward to inaugurate the day. Please keep a brochure in your hand. Please come forward, all the members. सब बस्ती रहनी चाहिए बच्चों। Thank you so much, sir. Please be seated. Now I would like to call upon the stage holding the Journal Chair of the day, Dr. Pankaj Mishra, to brief about the scope of the conference. एक बार जोरदार तालियों के साथ स्वागत करते हैं डायरेक्टर ऑफ हार्टेक इंस्टीट्यूट।
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, fellow speakers, and our audience joining us online from around the world. First, I extend a warm welcome each of our speaker, guest of the day, Professor Antonino from Italy, Dr. Harishankar Srivastava from New Zealand, Dr. Anish Gupta from India, Dr. Abhishek Upadhyay from Germany, who graciously accepted our invitation and are here to attend national conference. I welcome all the director, professor and faculty members from various colleges who were present the paper and attended this international conference. I heartily welcome to our chairman sir, who never failed to impress us with the constant support. High-Tech is the self-finance college which was established in 2004 and it is affiliated to AKTU, CCS and BTUP, Lucknow, approved by AICTE and NCTE. We are offered 19 courses across different fields such as engineering, diploma in engineering, business management and education. These include BTech, BBA, BCA, BCom, BGMC as UG level and MTech, MBA, MCA at PG level. It is my privilege to inform you all that the High-Tech is the first college which is appearing on the CUET portal. The competition
हेलो 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 भाई, क्या हाल है? राम राम। और बढ़िया। वाह, श्री में प्रोग्राम हो रहा है यहाँ पे कॉलेज में। अच्छा, दावत चल रही है, रसगुल्ले है, पकौड़े है, कहीं कुछ है। हाँ, खड़े हैं जामुन के पेड़ के नीचे। खाना खाना इंतजार है। देखो ये पूरा है खाना इंतजार, रसगुल्ले वसगुल्ले सब। अरे तू क्यों? अबे अब 3 तारीख का चल रहा हूँ मैं। हाँ हाँ, वही चारों बात आई, वही पैसा फोन करूँगा। हाँ, फोन करूँगा मैं। हाँ, तो यहाँ पे इटावा से पेवर में शादी है, गेस्ट हाउस में। हाँ, इटावा से आएगी बड़ा, तो यही कर रहे हैं। इटावा पेवर में गेस्ट हाउस करा है। इटावा नहीं, इटावा वालों ने यार इटावा इन्हें कर दिया पेवर में गेस्ट हाउस। बारात, हाँ, बारात इटावा से आएगी वहीं पे गेस्ट हाउस में। तो हाँ, तो बेवर से कितना पड़ेगा तुम्हारा? है 60 किलोमीटर। क्या? तो मैं फोन करूँगा, हम सारे गाड़ी लेके सुबह निकल लेंगे। हाँ हाँ हाँ, हम सुबह ही टाइम निकलेंगे। अगर जो मैं फ़ोन कर दूँगा तो सुबह ही टाइम निकल के वहाँ से गाड़ी उठा के सीधे वही आ जाऊँगा, मिल लूँगा आपसे। हाँ हाँ, नीरज से बात करोगे? नीरज से चलो, अब तो हमरा अपने अपने काम पे लग रहा है। चलो ठीक है, चलो ठीक है, आऊँगा मैं। आऊँगा, जब आऊँगा मैं फ़ोन कर दूँगा। 3 तारीख को निकलूंगा यहाँ से सुबह। हाँ ठीक, ओके, राम राम।
चेयरमैन सर के लिए।
सबसे पहले मैं आज सभी का हार्दिक अभिनंदन करता हूं। गाजियाबाद नगर से व नोएडा से आए हुए सभी निर्देशक महोदय का भी हार्दिक अभिनंदन करता हूं, और ख़ास तौर से जो इस मीटिंग में सहयोग बाहर से मिला है उनका बहुत बहुत आभारी हूँ कि उन्होंने अपना समय देकर हमारे इस कॉन्फ्रेंस को सक्सेस करने में सहयोग दिया। आज हाईटेक संस्थान में पहली बार इंटरनेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस का आयोजन किया जा रहा है, जिसमें देश विदेश से प्रसिद्ध एकेडमिशियंस उपस्थित हैं, जिसमें से प्रोफेसर एंटोनिनो इटली से, प्रोफेसर हरिशंकर श्रीवास्तव न्यूजीलैंड से, प्रोफेसर अतीश गुप्ता जी भारतवर्ष से तथा अभिषेक साहब जर्मनी से उपस्थित हैं। हम इनका हृदय की गहराइयों से अभिनंदन करते हैं। इन चारों महान विभूतियों के मार्गदर्शन से हमें बहुत कुछ सीखने की आशा है। हम सभी इनके मार्गदर्शन से काफ़ी कुछ सीखेंगे, वे भारत के विकास में अपना सहयोग प्रदान करेंगे। आज भारतवर्ष जल थल वायु सेना के हथियारों में हो, चाहे NHAI के मार्गों में हो या रेल मार्गों में हो या रेल मेट्रो आदि में हो, पूर्णतः स्वावलंबी है। वह किसी भी क्षेत्र में किसी के आगे झुकता नहीं है। ये केवल भारत में विकास पथ अग्रसर होने के कारण है। ये हमारी कार्यकुशलता पर डिपेंड करता है कि हम उसे किस तरह पॉजिटिव या नेगेटिव सोचते हैं। जिस तरीके से एक शब्द है, मैं हमेशा बताता हूं सभी को कि इम्पॉसिबल, अरे इसका विच्छेदन तो करके देखिए, आई एम पॉसिबल। कोई चीज इम्पॉसिबल नहीं है। यदि आप किसी भी चीज के लिए करने का यदि बीड़ा उठा लेते हैं, कोई चीज, मैं एक सत्य घटना आपको बताता हूँ। राष्ट्रीय इस्पात निगम सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का बहुत बड़ा प्रोजेक्ट है विशाखापट्टनम में। एक बार कोल की डीलिंग वहाँ पर चल रही थी, तो काफ़ी नेगोशिएशंस होने के पश्चात लगभग ऑर्डर फाइनल होने जा रहा था, परंतु किसी बात पे वो अटक गया और चेयरमैन महोदय ने कहा कि भाई अब तो ये फाइल पे नोटिंग जा चुकी है कि कैन नॉट बी पॉसिबल, इसको कैसे पॉसिबल किया जा सकता है। तो मैं आपको वास्तव में बताऊं, जब सारे लोग उसको पॉजिटिव सोच रहे हैं तो नॉट को नोट कर दिया गया, ई उसके आगे लगा के डॉट लगा दिया गया, कैन बी पॉसिबल। तो मन में यह धारणा होनी चाहिए कि हमें वास्तव में किसी चीज को पॉजिटिव लेकर के चलना है या इसे करना है। मैं इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ अपने बात को विराम देता हूं और धन्यवाद देता हूं, हार्दिक अभिनंदन करता हूं। ये सभी लोग
Thank you so much, sir. Now I would request all the members presented over here, just take your seat, and I would request keynote speaker of the day to take the mic. Over to you, Antonino, sir. Hello.
serie si uso tutti e un PDF allo stesso. Thank you for this invitation. It's an honor for me to be here and discuss with you and show you what we are doing at the University of Messina. I am Antonino Galletta. I am an assistant professor at the University of Messina. You can find my email address. My research field is about cloud, edge, IoT, and security. So today in this speak, I will discuss with you about big data. So we see that today we are thinking about and hearing about big data continuously. What are challenges when we deal with big data, and what are some solutions to deal with big data, in particular how to store this big data in a secure manner. Then I will show you briefly some use cases that we developed in the University of Messina, and then we go for the conclusions. Big data is a quite new concept. We have this big data for several reasons. Now, all of you probably are subscribed in social networks, and every day you produce a lot of video, pictures, posts, and so on. So this means that we are producing a lot of data. Also IoT. Today we are discussing more and more about these smart houses. No? Alexa, please open the window. Siri, please turn off the light, and so on. But to have this IoT, this smart environment, smart device, so we have to produce a lot of data. And finally, 5G is making the smarter also thing all around the world, mobile things. There are several definitions about big data. I prefer to use this one, is the 4V definition, no? Because we can have big data for several reasons. First of all, about volume, how much data we produce. If we took a lot of picture, a lot of video, and we spread this. The variety of this data, no? Because as I told you, we can produce text data from messages or raw data from IoT, but also pictures, also video. Veracity of this data. Okay, are these data relevant or not? I make an example. If we have a sensor that monitors the temperature, no, even outside, having this temperature controlled every second or every half second is not necessary, because temperature goes smoothly, the change of temperature. So this means that we have a lot of data, but these data are not relevant, are meaningless. And finally, about velocity, because this data is produced in a very fast manner. So there are several challenges about big data: how to acquire this data, how to store, how to analyze, and how to manipulate this data, and also how to check the data integrity. Because if you have a lot of data, is not simple. It can be not a single person that will stay there and work with this data. Also, the traditional systems are not able. No, in the past we had a small computer, a small server, a small workstation in our office, and it was enough. No, but we were using Excel file and we were storing everything there. But now we know that it's not possible when we have this data. So the data center changed. We have a big, very huge data center, and a new concept that is called cloud computing has been developed. Here you can find some logos of cloud computer providers. No, probably you use one of those. As you can see here in these slides, so we have several solutions to handle big data, but cloud seems to be the best one. Why seems to be the best one? Because in cloud computing, we don't care about resources. We just pay and we have servers that we need. And if tomorrow we have more data, then we can rent more space. And
Hello? 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 Hello, hello? हाँ जी. Hello?
Corruption, the backup, the redundancy of this. So our solution was starting from these problems was to use also cloud computing, public cloud computing, because
Hello? Hello?
that allow a dealer is the owner of the secret, is you, is me, no? That we have a secret, to share this secret in a secure manner with a group of participants. These participants here are called also peers. Okay, and we have two approaches. An approach with threshold. Threshold means there is an approach with redundancy. It's called N over P. And an approach without threshold means that my secret is split in a P. One, this guy to have two, and this guy to have three. You say, okay, you are splitting your secret. But in general, it's not like this, because if you want some approaches with redundancy, if you lose one of those, then you are in trouble. Then using. So what we can see here, this is an example, a real example. We have the primary is the minimum number of chunks that we need, and R is the redundancy. By considering two levels and the primary number equal to 3 for both levels and the redundancy number equal to 2 for both levels, we can calculate very easily the total number of fragments that is here. Then as we can see here, we know that in order to recompose, we consider that these fragments are lost, are broken because they were stored on Google Drive and we didn't pay the subscription. Then what happens if we lose one more file? So there is a recomposition condition that tells that at least P1 chunk or level 1, where P1 was the number that you can see at the top was 3, need at least P2 fragments of level 2 each. Means that at least in this case, specific case, 3 chunks or level 1, this one is for example red, green and light blue, need P2, that is equal to 3, need 3 fragments each. So this means that if we lose one of the chunks that is here in this red circle, green circle, sorry, we have no problem. Because still we have 3 chunks from here, 3 from here, and 3 from here. But if we lose one of those, then we will have these with 3, with more than 3, this with more than 3, this with 2 per each, these 3. So this means that if we lose one of those, our secret is lost, and there is no possibility to recompose. This means that we have a big difference between a single level secret share and nested secret share, because we can have redundancy in a best case and redundancy in a worst case, but I will show you later. Then we made a comparison between secret share and nested secret share. We're considering the security, so in terms of the number of attempts, recomposition attempts that an attacker has to perform. Then the redundancy and the availability of data, considering these parameters. So by considering the secret share, single level secret share, and assuming that an attacker has knowledge about this data that is written here, so the algorithm of secret share, the number of levels, the number of primaries, and the degree of redundancy, with the single level secret share, the number of recomposition attempts is equal to 1. Why? Because any recomposition between these fragments will bring to the original secret. But with nested secret share, this is not the same. So starting from the same assumption, the same conditions, so the number of recomposition attempts that an attacker has to make to be sure to recompose the secret depends on all these numbers. Why? Because when we, as I told you before, we had the red fragments of level 1 that was split here in light red. Okay. Then this means that I cannot use light red with light green with light blue to recompose a secret, because this belongs to different fragments, belongs to different data. So this recomposition is not valid. This recomposition will provide me a fragment, but not a valid fragment, a fake fragment. This means that in order to recompose the secret, the attacker has to make a lot of attempts. The number of attempts, as you can see here, increase exponentially, and by considering the redundancy of first and second level equal to 7, it can reach 1.7 billions of possible combinations. And if you consider that he has to make one of the 0.7 billions of possible combinations together, and per each combination it will take 1 second, okay, not so much time, but it will need 1.7 seconds to break our secret, so a lot of time. Then we made also the redundancy assessment. As I told you, we have 2 cases, the worst case and the best case. When we discuss about the worst case is this, we are very unlucky because, as you can see here, we lose exactly 9 fragments. I remember you that the redundancy was 2 for both levels, but we lose this one. But considering this, we made a calculation by increasing the number of redundancy from 0 to 7 for both levels. And you can see here, in the worst case, having R1 equal to 7 and R2 equal to 7, the line is this one. You can see here this dashed line, but dark line. And you can see it can reach the number of 63. This value has been compared with the secret share technique, single level, that is the line that you can see here, the continuous line. But the slide that you see here is the best case. In the best case means that we lose all of these chunks except 3 per each. No? You can see here in this slide in an easy way. So by having this, considering again R1 equal to 7, R2 equal to 7, we can grow up to 119, the value of redundancy. But instead, for single level secret share, the value is 7. So a very huge difference. And here you can find just a comparison between. Then we calculated the availability. When we discuss, again, we made a comparison between nested secret share and secret share. Secret share is our reference, is the black continuous line that you can see here and in these charts. We use it again, we consider again R1 from 0 to 7 and R2 from 0 to 7 by considering the different dashed color. And in these slides, you can see we have 2 zones. A zone of higher security. Higher security means that if an attacker has, in order to recompose the secret, an attacker has to take a lot of data. This means that an attacker, if we lose more than 20% of the peers, so consider to have 10 cloud providers, if 2 or more of these will close, then our secret is lost. But this means that an attacker, in order to have our data, has to compromise 80% of cloud providers. For this reason, is a higher security zone. Then, instead, we have also the higher availability zone. Higher availability means where, in order to recompose the secret, we can have more peers compromising. As you can see here, this depends on both R0 and R1 and R2. But we have 2 zones. When we consider this dashed line here, this very light line is R2 equal to 0. R2 equal to 0, we stay always in this part of the chart, in higher security part. Instead, R2 equal to 7, that is this one, we stay always in that part of the charts. Then, up to now, I have discussed about data confidentiality and data security. But I told you in the triad we have to discuss about data integrity. And in order to discuss it, we will discuss about another branch of secret share. But first of all, why we need this? As I told you before, let's consider to have our secret that is this red line. And to recompose it, we need 2 points from the red line. But our peers will provide these 2 points. The green point, that is the one that we shared with him, and the red point, that is another point, that is a fake point. This means that we will recompose a secret, we will retrieve the blue line, that is not our secret, as you can see here. So, another example is with RRNS. In this case, to share the value that we calculated is 010, but for some reasons, we will have 101, and so in this case 011 should be okay. And true secret is 10, yes. Retrieved shares instead are 011, as you can see here, and by using again the same as I told you before, as I showed you before here, the true secret was 10, but the secret that we will be able to retrieve will be 16. Okay, as you can see here. This because we had this problem that one of these shares has been changed. So in order to avoid this, we worked with verifiable secret share. Verifiable secret share is a branch of secret share that allow the users to verify the data integrity. But compared with the state of the art, we invented our version. So usually what the state of the art does is they compose a secret and then they check if was this the secret that originally I split or not. We started instead from an assumption. The assumption was that the merge module, the module that will compose again these fragments, will not introduce any error, any problem. And the second assumption is that the combination of valid shares will produce a valid secret, of course, no? Because if we have these that are valid and the merge model will not introduce any error, then we will have a valid secret. So this is the workflow of our algorithm. So as you can see here, we use the hash function like MD5 or SHA in order to check the data integrity. So first of all, we selected the chunk. We looked at if was valid. If it was not valid, then we take another one. We pick another one. If it was valid, then we look. We have in a queue. We have enough chunks to make the recomposition. If the answer is not, we pick another chunks. If there are no chunks available, then we have lost the secret. Otherwise, if we have other chunks, we select again other chunks. When we reach the threshold, then we can make the recomposition. This means that our algorithm will make just one recomposition attempt. And we made a comparison between our algorithm and the state of the art, considering the redundancy degree equal to 7. This means that if the redundancy degree is equal to 7, then losing more than 7 chunks, losing 8 chunks, means that our secret is corrupted. You see here. And we made a comparison from times. As you can see here, the blue chart, the blue bar, is the classical verifiable secret share. The red one is our solution. As you can see, this is a logarithmic scale. No? You see here we go by tenth, in time. And the difference between our algorithm and the state of the art will increase when the number of lost chunks will increase. In particular, they will be very higher when we have 8 corrupted chunks, when we cannot recompose the secret, because in this case, we don't make any merge. Instead, the state of the art make any possible combination, any possible merge. So finally, in order to conclude my talk, I want to show you some use cases that we developed here in Messina, and the 2 of them are about healthcare. The first is about sharing health records among hospitals. So why would be useful to share these health records? First of all, we want to improve care, because we can increase the knowledge. No? If we have a problem, a disease in a region, then if we share the medical record to other, then even other can hear about that disease. But also, if we want to ask a consult of a specialist, and this specialist is based in America, in US, then we can have a problem. No? We have to go there. Instead, we want a way to send him in a safer manner. And finally, we want to obtain more precise diagnosis. No? Probably all of you heard about artificial intelligence. But artificial intelligence, in order to create a good algorithm, reliable algorithm, they need a lot of data. So the idea is to use these techniques in order to make bigger and bigger datasets. So this is an example. We have an exam in the hospital A from Dr. A. We use these services that I showed you before, the split secret share, put our data on the public cloud, and then a foreign doctor is able to recompose it by using the secret share manager. And here there is another way to see the same. This is the real use case that we used in this hospital in Messina. Was about magnetic resonance imaging. So we made this image, we put it in the private cloud, then we anonymized it and we put it on public cloud. And at the end, the doctors were able, foreign doctors here, were able to recompose the secret. And this was possible because we made this security. We had these two files, a trusted file and a service list file, combining together these two files. Then we know the exact location of these chunks in cloud service provider. So the second use case about the medicine, healthcare, is how to manage, how to handle electronic health record. So just to show you something, in the US, we had a lot of problems because the exchange of electronic health record. But this problem is not a problem that they have only in the US. The same problem we had in the UK and also in Italy. So they changed the health records and a woman in this case also died. So the idea was to create a system based again on a secret share, where we used the small IoT device, Raspberry, installed on the bed of the patient, and then by using some biometric sensors, we were able to match the health record of the patient with him. So the idea
ये वाला पेपर लिया ले लिया अरे वो पेपर के लिए मंगवाए थे
this could be also useful for first care. So if you consider first aid, if you consider that the people has a diabetes, and then it's usual, at least in Italy, I don't know here, but I guess it's the same. When someone don't feel good, say, okay, take some water with sugar, no? But if these people has a diabetes, then probably you are killing him, no? And knowing in advance that if these people has a diabetes, it could be useful if he cannot answer. So the idea is the same. In the ambulance, we installed this small Raspberry. Then by using the biometric sensor, we were able to find the electronic health record and to find if this person has diabetes or not.
आलू की पकौड़ी मिल गया आजा Man, man. What is this? ना यार हमारे क्या ये क्यों देखी हाँ छोलेदार पूरी छोलेदार कचौड़ी खाना चाहिए भाई तो भाई सब बाकी
cloud providers. I will make the calculation of points belonging to this line in 10 different points, considering, for instance, x equal to 0, to minus 1, to minus 2, to minus 3, plus 1, plus 2, plus 3, and so on. And then I will have different points belonging to this. This means that if I have a point here, and I lose this one, by using this, interpreting this point with this one, I can have still the same row, the same line. This is possible because, as I told you, that from a mathematical point of view, to find the equation of a polynomial of degree n, we need plus 1 points. So if we wanted to increase the security, then instead to use a line here, we can use a parabola. Parabola has the equation of degree 2. Then we need this means that our primaries, the number of secret that we need is 3, but we can calculate still the coordinates of this parabola in more than 3 points, in 10 points, and then we have 7 degree of redundancy. Thank you for your question.
Anyone else? Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much to share your knowledge. Now moving forward, the next speaker of the day, Dr. Harish Srivastav. He is Senior Lecturer of Logistics and Supply Chain Management at the Department of Business Information System, Auckland University of Technology, New Zealand. He has mechanical engineering and supply chain management. Prior to joining academia, Hari sir worked in industry for a few years, managing manufacturing and logistics systems. He is a recipient of AUT's Graduate Assistantship Award in 2016 to 2020 and a member of Beta Gamma Sigma Honor Society USA. His research interests are supply chain sustainability, circular economy, digital supply chains, supply chain analytics, and supply chain simulation. He applies econometrics, simulation, and optimization techniques in his research. एक बार जोरदार तालियों से स्वागत करते हैं डॉक्टर हरीश श्रीवास्तव from New Zealand. Hari sir, am I audible to you?
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you for very nice introduction. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Over to you, sir.
Certainly a big cause of problem. So much being generated every day. So it's a great insight.
Is my is my slide visible?
Slide is visible, sir, but we need some time. Please give me few
Sure.
seconds.
Sure. Yes. Is it now visible?
Yes, sir. Perfect.
Thank you so much. Should I start?
Yes, sir. Please.
Thank you. Thank you. So, dear students, fellow colleagues, and distinguished guests, thank you for inviting me and giving me an opportunity to share my thoughts on the topic of demystifying emerging trends in green technology. So, as we enter an age in which climate change and environmental degradation represent severe threats to our world, it is now critical that we explore, identify, and implement different technologies to address these challenges. So, green technology, also known as clean technology, and another synonym is being used in literature is sustainable technology. And all these technologies refer to any process, product, or service that focuses on improving or replacing an existing technology to reduce not only environmental impact, but also improve social impact. It involves a broad range of areas, for example, renewable energy, energy efficiency, or regenerative agriculture, waste management, and water conservation. So, one of the most significant trends in green technology is rapid adoption of renewable energy. That includes solar, wind, green hydrogen, hydro, and geothermal energy sources. International Energy Agency in 2019 reported that renewable energy now accounts for 72% of global electricity capacity. And definitely it is a significant shift away from using fossil fuels towards renewable energy that will not only reduce carbon emissions but also creates new job opportunities and drives economic growth. In addition to using renewable energy, another trend in recent years has been using circular economy, which aims to minimize waste and maximize the efficient use of resources. Alan MacArthur Foundation estimates that by 2030, the circular economy could generate 4.5 trillion of dollars.
अब किस चक्कर में घूम रहा है पीछे अभी हिंदी भैया
investment, and this is a barrier for small and medium-sized industries. And this is a recent report that has been produced or shown in World Economic Forum. If we look from SME's perspective, they contribute to 70% of world's GDP and job creation. But almost 67% of SMEs worldwide are fighting for their survival. So if we see, even in New Zealand, we see like New Zealand also constitute more than 90% of small and medium-sized industries. There are very few big industries, and most of industries are struggling after COVID or during COVID. So here we can see from business perspective, that businesses are wonderful entities. Nobody doubts about it, because they drive growth, they introduce innovation, and definitely they create jobs. And I have no hesitation to say that the primary objective for any business is to generate profits. However, businesses also need to deal with uncertainties. For example, wars, terrorism, pandemics, and natural calamities. And the other aspect that we should not forget, that businesses need to have positive impact on society. So, and we can also see there are lots of different stakeholders having conflicting objectives. Government might have different type of objectives, and consumers, they have different demands, and other entities also have different kind of objectives. So here, we need to find a way to synchronize different objectives and create a music. And the music should be kind of successful. And if we take the analogy of the recent Bollywood hit, like Jhume Jo Pathaan, that has created a history in recent time, and if we look at the whole system of that music creation, that is a result of wonderful synchronization. For example, the music, different music, and the singers, and the dance. Everything is synchronized in such a way that has created a melody, and that was even liked by millions of people. Also, it created profit. So here we can see the objective of business is not to create profit or cast a positive impact, but the businesses need to create profit and create a positive impact. So it's not or, but it's and. So how this thing can happen? As I said before, small scale industries, they are struggling to secure capital. And whenever they go to bank, nobody is even treating them or taking them seriously. There are lots of collateral being required, so that they need to follow a certain rules and regulations if they want to do something. However, another bank, like this one is value-based banking, developed or created by Triodos Bank. It's a Netherlands-based bank that has offices and branches in many European countries. And we can see that this bank has created a positive impact on society, and also help societies to grow by this value-based banking. If we dig a little bit deeper into their banking system, we can say it's value-based banking at its core. So the core means they only focus on creating or investing in projects that have some societal value. And we can see here they started in 1980, and over these 40 years in business, they never reported losses. And they follow a very specific governance criteria or management criteria. They don't have shareholders. Instead, they have certificate of holders. And these certificate of holders, they are also governed by administrative body that is known as SAB. And the value of these certificates, they are not determined by market, and they are determined internally. So it also protects them from being acquired by another company. And they identify specific investment opportunities, mainly in renewable energy, organic farming, ecological development projects. So they take all these depositors and investors' money and they invest in the projects that have social and environmental impact. And most importantly, they don't finance consumer credit or customer credit lines. So they don't finance for buying a refrigerator kind of thing, because they believe that it increases unnecessary spending, and that loan is a bad loan. Instead, they are now expanding into green bonds or bio-based mortgages. For example, sustainable housing and bio-based natural materials. So if the houses or the housing projects, they use bio-based natural materials, they will definitely be invest in that. And they have developed, even we can see here, 744,000 customers in 5 European countries. And they have dispersed around 9.4 billion loans in the projects that created some social value. If you look at from value-based banking, I have compared it with BNZ in Netherlands perspective. So they use the sustainable finance as a product, and when we compare it with traders, so their value-based or sustainable financing is at core. These companies that are BNZ, they we can see their products. This is the only product that linked with sustainability linked bonds or derivatives, and they also invest in risk management. However, if we compare it with traders, means they take depositors' money and they invest only in those products that create some social benefits. However, these companies, it's only as an eye that looks into sustainable finance as products. So we are trying to think like how these things or these gaps can be minimized, what can be done. So now this is a new ecosystem. We need to come up or design institutional ecosystem to societal development. So why not government support or create or develop policies to connect banks, consultancies, and technology firms? Because If we look at from BNZ perspective, if any bank, any customer or any business goes to them and asks for any loan that they can use it for addressing environmental problem or adopting green technology. So basic thing is what they will do with it. I have come across so many companies here. They say that okay, we can get a loan after giving them a collateral. But what will happen? But we don't know how to move forward because the money will go or they will spend it in certain aspect without getting any results. So if these consultancies that can come and guide them on different projects, they evaluate them and then link them with technology firms. Like if we look at from Indian perspective, TCS, we also have TCS branch in Auckland where my university is. So these consultancies, technology firms and banks, they should work in sync. So I have adopted this framework or trying to develop this framework from circular economy perspective where we should not only focus on materials but also on capital. So these capitals that can be used to develop societies while working in sync with different consultancies, firms, technology firms, and banks. Because we need to understand that human should not be considered as a mean to maximize profits. Humans should be a part of the society and they should work in sync with all those businesses and banks and other government organizations. So that's all that I wanted to talk about. If you have any question, please feel free to ask.
Any question? Any question? No question, Hari sir. Thank you so much for your valuable time. Thank you so much, sir. एक बार जोरदार तालियां हरी सर के लिए.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now moving forward, now the time for the next keynote speaker, Dr. Anish Gupta. जोरदार तालियों के साथ स्वागत करते हैं डॉक्टर अनीश गुप्ता सर का. आपको सर के बारे में बताऊं, मैं सर के 1-2 सेशंस अटेंड कर चुकी हूं. ही इज फुल ऑफ एनर्जी और आपके अंदर भी फुल एनर्जी भर देंगे. बट टुडे ही इज सफरिंग फ्रॉम फीवर, तो मे बी बट आई विल होप द सेम शुड बी रिपीटेड. थैंक यू सर. ओवर टू यू. हैंड माइक.
Thank you, Tanuji. Good afternoon to everyone. I hope I am audible. Yes. So today I don't have the presentation to show because I don't believe in the presentation. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि अगर presentation दिखाते तो you are much more focused on the presentation rather than listening to the speaker. So I'm sorry if someone is waiting for the presentation. I don't have it. Right. Basically, I work as a zonal head in an iNurture Education Solution Private Limited. So I will just give a brief intro and why this brief intro is related with this your conference that I will just add on it because I'm seeing various faces, student faces over here. So basically we are an edtech company which provides end-to-end solutions to all the organization or universities you can say. Now as far as the recent research is concerned, you will find it out that the industry claims that 84% of the students are incapable of doing an industry job, right? Because there is a huge gap between the industry requirement and the academia. So we are there to fill the gaps, right? Now coming to the conference, if I say that basically I was just looking after the faces of the students. Some are not interested to listen, but they should listen. Now the question arises why. The theme of the conference is green technology, right? When we talk about the green technology, basically we think that it is waste management, water management. We think that it is the solar management. We think that everything is related, or you can say EV vehicles. So we think each and everything is related not to our domain, especially when I heard that maximum of the computer science students are sitting. So it's not so. The motive of the conference is that what need to be studied, why need to be studied, and what will be the outcome of that particular study. So basically, when we talk about the researchers, or when we talk about the conference, or when we talk about that the presenters who is presenting their research, so they have worked on these three fields, and these three topics or domain or field is important for our learning, right? So one thing is what, then why, and what is the outcome. So green technology we should learn because in today's scenario we will say that the hospitals are doing, or you can say the health management is one of the biggest industry in the world, right? The reason, the environment in which we are living, right? And this is the major concern of the environment, that we are not up to the mark in terms of our health issue. Whether it is a physical pressure or it is a mental pressure by the job, physical pressure by the environment, your atmosphere and all these things. All agree? You have to be a little bit interactive with me, right? The boy over there, please. Yes, right? So this is the reason. All agree now? Now it comes up, if this is the problem, what is the solution? This green technology, or you can say the green environment is the solution in which we have to contribute. Now the question arises that when we are saying the green technology, I don't know, some may say that I don't know that how the conference organizer has selected this particular topic, so I will just come to it. How many of you have heard about the SDG goals, Sustainable Development Goals? 1, 2, 3, 4, hardly few, right? When we talk about the Sustainable Development Goals, because this environment is creating lot of problem to the health of every individual. As a result, now each and every country is working on few sustainable goals to ensure that we should have, or our coming generation should have, a proper environment. There are 7 sustainable goals, out of which there are 7 goals who are related to the green technology. So in any of the organization right now or in coming years, you will find it out that your subject mapping will be done with the sustainable goals. Got my point? Now it comes to a end that we are studying green technology, or we have to study green technology. What is the future to it? If we go with the Indian government calculation, we will find it out that India has allocated a budget of 24,000 crore rupees for next 5 years from the green technology. If we talk about it, with the help of the solar power plant, India has generated a revenue of 111.29 crore rupees. Their gigawatt power consumption, power generators they have used. In coming years, they will be generating a power of 265 gigawatts through solar energy. When we talk about the electric vehicle, there is a sale of 4,29,000 and something in a year. The ratio of the growth, or you can say the growth ratio of the electrical vehicles will be 66% for the next 5 years. When we talk about the research of the patents, every second patent filed across the globe is somehow related to the green technology. Or you can say the 13% of the patent filed on the green technology is only from India. So if we go with the overall perception that our Indian government is also working on the green technology. Got my point? Right? Okay. How many of you accept that we are living in the age of machine to machine? Can anyone explain me what is the concept of machine to machine?
For everything we are depending upon the machine.
Yes. So now, how many of you are from computer science? I just got the information that the maximum are from computer science. Yes. This is the reason they are a little bit not listening in that. Now, I will just come to you only. Right? So, machine to machine means in today's scenario, whatever we are doing through our devices. Right? So, devices, it may be either your phones, it may be your iPads, it may be your laptop, right? Data transfer is going from one end to another, right, in a fast manner. We are using devices. When this devices is being out of order and it converted into waste, again it is known as e-waste. Again, this particular e-waste is also of no use and it is harmful to us. So what we are doing in terms of achieving the green technology concept, we brought the concept of a cloud technology. What is that particular cloud technology? The cloud technology says that rather than giving an access or asking every individual to keep their server at their place, we will hold it at the center location. This will reduce the cost of every individual. Also, it will reduce the e-waste of every individual or from any of the organization. So we are moving little bit on the higher side. Now, this is the only solution? No. The next solution when it comes for the green technology in a serious branch, that is basically the field of IoT. Now the question arises, why IoT? We need it. See, whenever the machine is working, basically there is a carbon monoxide which has been released by the machine and which is again harming our environment. To manage this, we are introducing the concept of IoT in our electronic devices. When we are saying that we are using the concept of IoT, I will just take few examples on that. Number one is, have you heard about wireless sensors? Yes. Now what happens, whenever we are transmitting our data, so there is a certain stations in which the sensors used to transmit the data. How these sensors are working? They are using with the help of the batteries. Now these batteries do not have much of the life. So if we go with the current research, our engineers are working to increase the life of a battery in such a manner that our device should use minimum battery as per the requirement of transmitting battery. This is first thing. We have heard about the smart homes. है ना? हमने smart homes, smart lights. We are listening to each and everything. So what actually is going on? Again, if I am entering into my house, right? If you go in a hotel in today's, in last 5 to 6 years, or in a good hotels, you can say sometimes in homes also, that once you enter, light automatically starts, right? If we are saying that more and more research is going on to identify your mood swings. So basically, we are using the concept of a digital image processing, in which our device is going to identify our face, our expression. If we are in a good mood, the lights will go a little bit down, right? And a proper environment. If we are angry, then again it will more go down, and the ambience will change accordingly, right? So basically, with the help of these smart homes and these devices, we are trying to manage the carbon monoxide in a limited manner, so that it should not harm our you can say health. So when we are talking about basically the green technology, so each and every field, whether it is an electrical, in terms they are using in terms of the batteries. When we are talking about EC, they are inventing the devices. When we talk about the CAC, they are basically inventing the devices as well as the software which can use that particular devices into an efficient way. So what my request is that in coming scenario we talk about, as I already shared, that there is a budget of 24,000 crores in coming 5 years for the green technology. I will request you to kindly listen to this particular research paper and try to utilize your skills in this green technology. Because in coming time only green technology will exist, and trust me, with the help of this sustainable SDG goals, and out of which I am claiming as that 7 are related to the green technology, it will work it. If you heard about the use of the green technology, or you can say that battery vehicles, battery robots, even though lens card, Shark Tank बहुत लोग देखते होंगे, right? तो उसमें क्या होता है कि the lens card is also now going in green. They are invented a device which will be operated by the robots, and that will be battery operated. So this is all from my side. Not well, so I will not speak much. But on this, if somebody is willing to ask any question, you are most welcome.
सर हम डे बाई डे ई व्हीकल्स की तरफ तो बढ़ रहे हैं, तो ई व्हीकल्स की तो एक तरीके से वेस्ट ही होगा फिर उसकी बैटरी, क्योंकि बैटरी लाइफ हमारी 6 to 7 years है।
मैम एक्चुअली अगर आप देखेंगे इन टुडेस टेक्नोलॉजी दैट पर्टिकुलर बैटरीज आर रीडिजाइन इन सच अ मैनर दैट देयर कैन बी रीयूटिलाइज्ड। एक्चुअली जब हम ई वेस्ट की बात कर रहे हैं तो देयर आर टू थिंग्स। फर्स्ट, इन द पास्ट इफ यू गो विद 5 years back, maximum e-waste is being dumped at a particular place, and that is the biggest challenge for us.
Exactly.
But in current situation, they are being reutilized. So when we talk about the e-vehicles, so public transport की जब हम बात कर रहे हैं, that is the reason that government is increasing this particular concept of public transport. When we talk about the e-vehicles, basically the carbon emission will be less as compared to the petrol and diesel.
Exactly.
So this is also one of the reasons. And if you find it, I don't know how many of you have visited. If we go with the Jaipur highway or if we go
Yes.
with the Punjab highway, there are many stations that has been installed over there. So they hardly take 30 minutes to charge your computer, through which you can again drive it for at least 300 to 400 meters.
Exactly. Any question from audience?
Yes.
Mike.
What do you think about the industries? Because we know that it's asking to us, normal people, to be sustainable, turn off light when you go outside and everything.
I'm sorry, I'm not able to.
Yeah, I say it is asking to us, at least in Europe, when you go outside, be sustainable, turn off light, turn off AC, and so on. But there are some big companies they don't care about. So, how is your feeling? What do you?
Please. If he says that turn off the lights, we have to do it, and some of the companies do not bother about it. If we go with the recent survey, during the COVID or you can say the pandemic time, the work from home has been increased. And still you can say almost in international market when we say 70% of the companies is still preferring work from home. And we talk about the India, still 40% of the employees are on work from home. And they are saying that you have to visit to the company once a day. Now the question arises, your question is that why company is not bothered about turn off the lights and all those things. These are the most consumption. In a recent survey it has been found that there is a less consumption, or the consumption has been reduced to 13% post-pandemic with this particular approach. So it's not so that company is not thinking about it, company is thinking about it. Moreover, when we talk about the IoT devices in which it should be a self-operating mode, basically you can say the complete renovation or implementation cannot be done within a day. Devices are coming, lights are coming, and it is definitely for any of the organization, it is an investment in CRs, and gradually they are moving. So you can say the use of the office culture is reducing, work from home is going on, and this is also one of the reasons. Yes, please. There is no poverty, water management, waste management, and industry emissions, all these are there.
सर 17 गोल्स हैं जो SDG 1 है, नो पॉवर्टी, तो जो ऑक्सफैम इंटरनेशनल की जो रिपोर्ट है उसमें जो 40% पीपल्स हैं, जो अमीर लोग हैं, उनके पास प्रॉपर्टी का 40% हिस्सा है जो ऑक्सफैम इंटरनेशनल कह रही है, और SDG में जो नो पॉवर्टी है, तो आप उसे कैसे मतलब क्लियर करें? तो बाकी लोगों के पास जो है 3% हिस्सा है प्रॉपर्टी का, तो ये गरीबी को कैसे हम कर सकते हैं?
सर, what is the benefits? सबसे पहले बताइए कि if I want to remove poverty, what is the first thing which I should do? Education. Education. Rightly said. Education. So literacy is one of the which we should achieve to remove the poverty. Right? इसलिए अगर आप देखेंगे, if I will not go much ahead about the international market and all those things, if we go कि for the AKTU, because you are affiliated from AKTU, AKTU has given a target to all the campuses that they should be either NAC accredited or NBA accredited, so that they can go autonomous by 2030. Right? The question arises कि why they are promoting this autonomy. poverty के क्या है कि there are two things. One, we are not able to give the right education or student. The population is illiterate. The second thing is poverty also comes if you are literate but you are incapable, then you are not getting a job. This also need this percentage is less, but this is the part of the poverty. Right? So the reason behind it is that now the Indian government has also identified that they are not able to meet the, you can say, industry targets of the goals or industry requirement. As a result, this autonomy in education will give the right to the educational institute to meet the industry requirement by changing their own curriculum with the help of the CAB. This is Corporate Advisory Board, which many of the universities and the organization exist. So basically they used to call the industry experts and then accordingly with their suggestions they used to implement the, you can say, the course curriculum, right? The second thing is basically the generation of more jobs, right? Because if somebody says, even though in our organization, we truly accept that if the student is taking admission in our organization, he deserves a job. It matters, or you can say it may be possible to get a job of 1.2 lakh, but he deserves a job. Because one who is past 12, one who has taken his BTech, BCA, whatever the degree he is doing, he deserves it. Agreed, na? This will be only possible if we are able to promote industry in our country. Right? I am not in favor of any political party, but what I am saying is that this, by the concept of Make in India, if we do, so we will find it out. Now, many, you can say the export is reducing day by day in a tremendous way. Right? So this reduction of export is only because we are producing the products in India. So definitely this poverty, but this is a long-term process until and unless we are not aware that there should be an education to all. Right? No, you cannot reduce this poverty.
ऑक्सफैम इंटरनेशनल रिपोर्ट ये कह रही है कि अगर 5% उस पर टैक्स लगा दिया जाए, मतलब जो लोग जिनके पास 50% हिस्सा है प्रॉपर्टी का, तो हम देखेंगे कि सॉरी
कितना टैक्स लगाएंगे सर? 5% टैक्स व्हेन यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट ना, सी अगेन हाउ मच परसेंटेज ऑफ टैक्स यू आर गिविंग? माय फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन।
एनरोलमेंट के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं कि हर बच्चा जो लिविंग बिलो द पॉवर्टी लाइन आल्सो, एंड जो देहात का रूरल एरियाज में बच्चे भी जाएंगे,
वो बेसिकली क्या होगा कि दिस इफ यू आर इंक्रीजिंग द टैक्स अमाउंट, that tax amount should reach to the student or the family which actually needs that amount, right? If we talk about the international countries, I was there in London for 6 months. What I want is that you hardly found a beggar over. Point number 1. Number 2, they have a strategy that you are not bound to work from 9 to 5. You have the liberty to work on hourly basis. So if say you are running any hotel or any organization, and if I come to you and you ask for how many hours in a day you would like to work, I will say for 4 hours in work, then per hour basis I will be paid for. This is point number 2. Point number 3 when we talk about is there is a system that whether you are working in a private or in a government organization, you cannot work beyond 65 of your age, and there is free medical, free insurance, free education. Moreover, after 65, government is going to give you pension also, right? Everybody is working over there. Now the question arises, why England is able to build such economy over there, or why this perception over there? Right? Now again, if we come with an Indian culture, right? So what is it? Even though being a parent, you should be truthful, right? The first thing when a child is born, we decide whether he should become an engineer or a doctor.
Yes.
Still in many of the cases, right, we are not considering what our child wants. If students or even the teachers, I think they may agree with me, is that in today's scenario, we have good jobs in everything, whether it's in arts, commerce, whatever the domain it is. If somebody is doing nothing, there are a big, you can say, big number of entrepreneurs coming in India. So basically क्या हो रहा है कि we are not able to change our thought process. As a result, if we go with the new education policy, we will find it out now this particular constraint or flexibility is being changed. अगर बच्चे ने 10th करा साइंस 10th तो कॉमन ही होता, 12th किया कॉमर्स से, उसको आज ये लगता है कि I can go for engineering. He is free to do so, right? Again, the second thing, you cannot change the education system in a completely in a single way. Gradually, it is changing. Again, if you go with the credit system, as per the new NEP policy, there is a credit of 160 for taking a BTech degree, right? They have defined major and minor courses. They have not kept any constraint that there should be 6 subjects or 4 subjects in a semester. This is again we are trying to copy our international partners. What they are doing is rather than taking one subject for 4 credit and taking 6 or 7 subjects in a semester, they used to deliver 3 subjects at a time. As a result, they are more into the practical. Why I am sharing this? Because again, when we talk about the poverty, or we will say that increase the tax, right? Basically, increasing of the tax and distributing money is not a long-term goal or long-term solution to this particular problem. The solution to a problem will only be there if they are literate and capable of taking a good job. Tax, if you all calculated, currently also we are paying almost 45% of the tax of our salary. Sir, 30% के slab में आप आ गए. Whatever the expenses you are doing right now, ठीक है? उसपे 5% GST at least you are paying, right? If you are earning this, say for example 1 lakh rupees per month, right? You are buying a product of 60,000 rupees per month. Again 5% tax you are again paying. It is again equals to about 3 to 5,000, and somewhere it is 18% or something like that, right? And moreover, we know about the concept of our politics also. So this is studies did. This is somewhat. I believe that this is. I may be wrong, but I believe this study is a little bit hypothetical. It is not practically feasible in our country.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, for your precious words. One more question. Yes, sir, please.
सर अभी आपने पॉवर्टी की बात की, विलेज पॉवर्टी. सर, more than 60% of the generation in India lived in villages. So how can we improve the poverty in villages? Because we did not have a good infrastructure of the school, we did not have a good kind of the school. So how we have improved in a village area, sir?
Good question, sir.
Thank you.
I'm just going to let me hear one more.
गुरु द्रोणाचार्य के देश में परशुराम के देश में
सर, गुरु द्रोणाचार्य वाले इस देश में, परशुराम वाले इस देश में, how we can create a green environment to enhance a green skill.
सर, जिस देश के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं उस समय ग्रीन एनवायरनमेंट ही था.
हाँ,
हमने तो खत्म किया है.
तभी मैं कह रहा हूँ, आपका पहला ही स्टेटमेंट ऐसा था कि 100% इन स्टूडेंट्स में, मतलब 80% स्टूडेंट्स तो हमारे एम्प्लॉयबल ही नहीं है. तो हाउ वी कैन एनहांस द एनवायरनमेंट.
Your question is more or less same to
right.
मैं आपको जवाब देता हूँ. Done. ठीक. You both are the faculties, right?
Right, sir.
ठीक है. एक चीज सर देखिए, if I talk about change the atmosphere, change the country, change the city, change the village in a single day, it is not possible. I truly agree, right? My simple question is, if I am a faculty, I am a teacher, I am mentor of few mentees, right? I think everybody, this mentor-mentee system is being followed in every organization. The biggest challenge is, or biggest problem is, not the challenge, problem is that this is on a piece of paper. This is only on the piece of paper, and we used to fulfill all these documents when we have an MBA visit, when we have an ag visit. I will ask that in last how many years we are into teaching profession, how many mentees we do have, and we have ensured that they are skilled and they get a good job. Sir, I cannot change the country, I cannot change the city, I cannot change the village, but I can literate and I can ensure that my mentee should get a good job. If they got a good job, then definitely they will again ensure that their younger brothers and friends, and you can say elder brothers, should also get a good knowledge and good job. सर अगर मैं कमाऊंगा, say for an example, if my earning is 10,000 rupees, my expenses is 12,000 rupees. I will never try my level best to feed my elder brother and elder sister. The only thing what I will ensure is that I should get a food for 2 times. I will not look after their family. But if my teacher make me skilled and I am earning 70,000 rupees and my monthly requirement is 40,000 rupees, I will always ensure that my younger brother or elder sister should go for study and should full learn.
सर issue is that thing. सर वो बात ठीक है जो आपने कहा कि 70,000
So when we are not right at our point of sound, we can say that we can change the
little bit only. सर मेरा क्वेश्चन वो नहीं था, मेरा क्वेश्चन वो था कि 70,000 मिल रहा है, मेरा बात था इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पे, क्योंकि आज भी
सर मेरा वही कहना है, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर तब तैयार हो सकता है जब आपके पास लिक्विडिटी, लिक्विडिटी जब जनरेट होगी जब आपके पास अच्छी जॉब है, ठीक है। अच्छी जॉब में मैं गांव में इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर नहीं पहुंचा सकता, मैं नहीं पहुंचा सकता, लेकिन अगर मैं गांव का, सर देखो मैं वही एक चीज कह रहा हूं, यू हैव टू कम आउट फ्रॉम योर कंफर्ट जोन। अगर आप देखोगे इन पास्ट 5 years or 7 years or 8 years or 10 years, you can say the infrastructure in the villages is being improved.
I'm not agree with your answer.
That is your choice. I will not bound it.
Thank you very much.
But truly speaking, I belongs to a village which is known as Aira Kheda. ठीक है? It is near Raya. ठीक है? Raya, when you go with an expressway to Mathura, I belongs to born and brought up in Mathura. तो जब आप उससे वहां से उतरते हैं तो वहां पर सबसे पहले उतरते हैं आप राया पे उतरते हैं, and again from Raya it is 5 kilometers away Aira Kheda, right? I'm just going to share my experience with you. This is my version, right? My cousins, they are working with SCM and Wipro, and during pandemic also ki they basically it was from work from home, and post pandemic also they have to visit only once in a week to Noida city, right? जब मैं उस गांव में पिछले 5 साल पहले गया था, we have कुल देवता हमारे वहां पर है, ठीक है ना, तो हम वहां पे जब पूजा करने साल में हमारी फैमिली एक बार जाती है, तो मैं वहां पर गया था। Just 5 years back I found it that there was no proper road. Still by 2016 there was not a proper road, right? 16 or 17 there was not as much facility, right? But when I talk about from 2020 onwards, है ना, my all cousins, they are doing work from home. That particular village, they have ACs in their house, right? They are saying that they have a proper internet connectivity over there with a broadband facility. Sir, see.
I think sir you are talking just nearby the city.
Sir,
I'm talking about the remote area.
सर एक बात बताइए, आप अपने छोटे भाई बहन को पढ़ाने के बजाय पहले दूसरों को पढ़ाएंगे, अपने घर पे पढ़ाएंगे?
We are diverting from the topic. The topic of today's conference is green technology rather than poverty and health sector. And thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Now the time to introduce the last speaker of the day, Dr. Abhishek Kumar Upadhyay. He obtained a PhD degree in electrical engineering from the IIT Indore. After getting his PhD, he worked for 1 year as a postdoctoral fellow in the Model Group Material to System Integration Laboratory, University of Bordeaux, France. Then after working as a staff scientist in the chief